In Shadow of War, carving your way through Mordor and laying challenge to Sauron's claim is made possible by the mental and physical domination of Uruks and Olog-hai. But in order to capture fortresses and defend them, the orcs that you add to your ranks need to be among the strongest and most formidable of their kind. Today I want to run through some of the variation you may encounter in your travels, and what attributes make for the toughest soldiers. The first, most obvious differences we observe across the orcs is their basic class. This has a definitive effect on both their appearance and, most importantly, their ability to destroy other orcs. Ologs. These mountainous brutes armed with great clubs are by far the largest type of orc, technically a troll, and with what they lack in agility and technique, they easily make up for with the ability to absorb vast amounts of damage on the battlefield and happily dish out a good chunk themselves. Defenders. Much smaller than Ologs, but still large in size compared to other orc classes. Defenders live up to their name with the use of great shield and halberd to block frontal attacks. These orcs also provide the added bonus of capturing points faster in fortress assaults. Warriors. The most basic of all orc classes, warriors make up the bulk of Sauron's forces. They wield a variety of one-handed weapons. Whilst they do not offer any special class bonuses themselves, when promoted they're the only basic class that could become any of the advanced classes. Archers. The smallest and arguably the physically weakest of basic classes, preferring to attack from range with powerful crossbow attacks. They're the only basic class that can become marksmen, which offer valuable covering fire to ground infantry and prove lethal against enemy captains, able to deliver great damage from a safe distance. Hunters. The kryptonite of beast attacks. These spear-wielding orcs can make use of medium-ranged attacks, but are equally formidable in close-range combat. Often found in the wilds, their ability to take down monstrous creatures like graugs and drakes proves that strength doesn't always mean size. Savages. Finally, my personal favourite basic class, the Savage. Proving to be a challenging fight for low-level players, even as grunts. Their ability to counter frontal attacks and deal huge damage makes them strong candidates for your next follower. Savages lack range, but make up for this with speed and aggression, often able to stunlock enemies with a flurry of hatchet swings. Now, with all the basic classes established, we can begin to highlight what advanced classes and specific orc attributes and traits make for the most powerful soldiers. The beauty of the Nemesis system means that a lot of orc traits can be highly situational, and what makes one orc weak in one fight may make him very strong in the next. Or as Bruce so eloquently puts it, there's nothing funnier than sending some bloke with a fire weapon at someone who's scared of fire. With that in mind, I want to run over some common fight situations you will encounter during your time conquering Mordor, and what type of orc traits will help turn the tide in your favour. Bodyguards. Your bodyguard will likely be the orc that you fight alongside the most, and therefore I usually award my most loyal or trusted follower this honour, as not only do I not want him to betray me during an already difficult fight, but if he has made it far enough in the hell that is Mordor for me to trust him, then he is very likely to be a skilled combatant. You won't be surprised to hear that my favourite orc class for this role is indeed the Savage. I find them to be the most versatile, which is exactly what a bodyguard needs to be, and it just so happens that my favourite ever orc who saved me countless times as my bodyguard was indeed a Savage. I would say Savages, Warriors and Hunters are classes best suited to this bodyguarding, due to their versatility and efficiency. Classes to avoid may include Archers and Defenders, simply due to their smaller health pools and slower speeds respectively. Other traits to look out for include the advanced classes of Tank, Slayer and Trickster, which will help take some aggression away from you as the player. It is also worth mentioning that Berserkers, whilst very powerful, may result in your follower attacking you in his fit of rage. Pit fights. Pit fighting is another key part of the game for both levelling orcs and infiltrating spies. In this 1v1 situation, we look for orc traits that not only excel in a duel environment, but also directly counter the opposition. Winning duels relies heavily on using orcs that play well against the opposition's strengths and weaknesses. I have witnessed success across all basic orc classes in the pits, with archers showing an unexpected talent for slaughter in this situation. I could easily say to use a Savage in every situation, but that's not what this video is about. Defenders are a very strong pick in pit fights, as most of the time your orc only has to worry about attacks from the front. They make very good picks against enemy ranged captains, whose attacks fly straight into your orc's shield. Whilst not the most entertaining fight to watch, destroyers and their overzealous use of explosives can easily stun lock opponents and lead to a cheesed win against a far stronger enemy. Once again, strong advanced classes such as Slayer and Trickster excel in a duel format, as they are able to block, counter and dodge very effectively. Berserkers are also incredibly strong, as an enraged orc often decimates the enemy in seconds, with traits such as Lifesteal and Rabid allowing them to not only clutch a losing fight, but disorientate their opponent. Fortresses. Finally, the capture and defense of each of Mordor's fortresses is the main goal of both the player and their orc army. Establishing a strong assault force is equally as important as promoting capable orcs to overlord and warchief positions. Fortress battles are where some basic classes such as Ologs and Defenders really come into their own. The larger of the two are capable of demolishing walls to allow the rest of your forces to enter, and the shield bearers make light work of capturing points. Both of these classes are also very strong on the defense, as they can survive for long periods, especially with the advanced traits of Tank and Determination, that allow huge health pools and self-healing. Should one find themselves attacking or defending against beasts, then the use of hunter captains and foot soldiers is key, as they can cut through such creatures even faster than Talion, with the Beastmaster advanced class. Destroyers are an obvious choice during an assault. Who doesn't bring explosives to a raid, right? Another key advanced class during these parts of the game is the Commander, which acts as a support, helping to buff his fellow troops and even spawn reinforcements of his own, making him very strong in a large battle situation. Okay, so we've covered all of the main fight situations, and what orc types I find to be more successful in each. But there are, however, some specific traits and attributes on captains to keep an eye out for, that I believe really lift them above the crowd, no matter the task. The first is Epic Rage. Simply put, this epic trait allows an orc to remain enraged for significantly longer periods. More rage equals more damage. Next is Epic Determination. An upgraded version of Determination. It allows tanks to heal themselves completely during battle, essentially giving themselves double the health pool, although this can be interrupted by enemy attacks. Quick Learner is a very strong trait that allows orcs to adapt much faster to certain attacks, and find ways of avoiding or countering them during a fight. This is a very annoying trait to fight against, but once dominated, orcs with this skill become formidable allies. Quick Shot, and its epic counterpart, is one of the highest DPS attacks of any orc, and is able to dispatch enemies at an alarming rate. I myself have fallen victim to it a number of times. Two worthy mentions are the epic traits Fanatical Gang and Growl Call, whereby the captain himself doesn't deal the damage, but a group of enraged grunts or a mighty Graug can provide a very strong offensive no matter the situation. I hope this video provides some insight into what to look out for during your next adventure through Mordor, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.